All right, all right, all right. Welcome everyone to today's lesson. As requested, someone wanted me to go over how to pass evaluation accounts and strategy for those. This specifically refers to Apex Trader funding evaluation accounts. I haven't messed with other prop firms, but I have a lot of friends who have across the various prop firm space, which is kind of in need of some tender love and care. So what we're going to talk about today is A to Z for beginners, intermediate, and we have some juicy things for the advanced traders as well. If you're thinking about coming over to the Apex Trader prop firm, you've heard about these sales, you've heard about some rumors that they pay out well, that they actually pay you out, that they're a good firm to trade with. I would agree with them. Um, and I want to focus this video on how to pass these evaluation counts. What kind of strategy do you need to employ in order to do so? I think I am validated enough to uh, speak on this topic. I have, I think, over 1 million some in funding and account funding. So, yeah, passed a few in my day. So I'm gonna go through for beginners first, and then intermediate second, and then I'm gonna leave the advanced stuff and the juicy advanced stuff and some of the high probability things that I do to trade for the end. So if you want to stay, if you want to skip to that, great, go ahead. But you're gonna miss some of the really good stuff that I focus people down in the beginning. So let's go ahead and get to it. So um, the first things first is you want to be able to find a broker. Thinkorswim, I think, used to be a broker that gives you free. You might. I'm not sure if they let you trade futures for free, but I think that if you set up the right type of account, a margin account, then they'll let you do it. I think you might need to fund a little bit of it, unfortunately. So maybe it's not super free. But if that doesn't work for you, then you can always go to Apex and wait for one of the really great sales. Like I think there's a sale going on right now that is a 90% off sale, and you can for the first month and then 80% off the rest of the months. So you could go down and grab this cheapest static account. It's the cheapest one there, 137 bucks a month. And what you can do is you can go here and buy one of these 137 a month times 0.1 because it's 90% off. So for the first month, it'll cost you $13.07 to get it. Now, each month after that, it's gonna feel like a subscription to one of your for internet. It's the price that you have to pay to learn. So I would buy one of the cheapest accounts that you have here if you can't find one, because NinjaTrader is so amazing to give you real-time data and the ability to create as many charts as you want to, as you have screen space for. And let me see if I can share my screen on this side. It might help. So you can go to Apex Trader Funding and then .com, and then you can head down to this static account. This is the 137 a month. So 137 times 10%, which is 90% off, is 13.7 here. So I didn't have that math on. I didn't realize I was not on the right screen there. So if you can't find a free broker, come to NinjaTrader and just use my. I mean, you can. I think I put a video on how to get to it, but let's say you go to YouTube, you find me here, and then you go to me. If you want to, you can, but basically this first link here is Apex Trader Funding. It's an affiliate link, so basically what happens is you can either go straight to Apex and put in this code, the DBVIBOHK, to get that sale, and then that helps me out. If you don't want to, no big deal either. I don't need the affiliate drip there. but just want you to know that that does exist. So when you go sign up, you can put in one of those codes. So definitely make sure you put that in though, so you get that 90% off sale. So what you want to do when you get the account though is you want to trade what's called sim. So in the background, you can see that there's a lot of stuff on this chart. Actually, I'll use a clean chart to um, let's get rid of all these drawing objects for the time being, so we can give you a nice clean chart for the beginning. So this is the price action. This is a 60-minute chart. You have a few different things that you can choose from here in NinjaTrader. You can also choose to trade via trading view. Some people like that because you can have a free trading view, which you can integrate with things like Tradeovate. So um, if you want to trade with Rhythmic, which is what I use on a desktop, then you can choose one of these Rhythmic accounts. You can scroll down further if you want to go trade with Tradeovate. It's another trading program. It's a little bit more expensive, but you can trade. It's got an API to trade with TradingView, so you can actually use your mobile and set your do a lot of mobile trading with it. I can't do that, not with Rhythmic. So that's one benefit if you really like mobile trading. But at the end of the day, I want you to be trading sim. If you're a beginner, trade sim, which is trade demo, trade not real money, so that you can get an idea of how price runs without feeling the pain and feeling the fear of trying to make it and make it work without losing any money. So from a beginner, that's what I recommend. That's the easiest way to start. You're not going to find something cheaper or something. Yeah, maybe you will, but you can go maybe like find some other discount broker. Go ahead and look for them, but this is already pretty dang cheap. So what you want to do as a beginner, first thing you want to do is spend some time setting up your screens. How do you want your screen to look? How do you want everything to be set up across your screens? Make sure you spend that time and save your workspace. When you're using NinjaTrader, you have to save your workspace. Even in TradingView, you can set different types of workspaces there. So invest the time to really set your screen and your space up, okay? The next thing that you want to do is, if you only have one screen, you want to use about 3 time frames. So I would recommend you doing something. If you only have this one screen, for example, I would probably end up splitting this into something like this, where I could see a lot of movement. Maybe I might save that for the lower time frames actually. So let me just make this a little smaller so it can better duplicate this screen. So if I were you, I would do something like this, where we would have we have this hourly here, and then we also duplicate this once more and you put it down here. And then this can be your 15-minute time frame. And you can do this. I don't think you can do this on free. I don't think you do this on free TradingView. I think you need to pay a monthly fee in order to get the ability to have 4 screens. But basically, in NinjaTrader, this comes with the ability, when you buy the license and buy it through Apex Trader Funding, it all comes with your $13 per month fee, by the way. So when you buy it, you can actually set this up in as many screens as you want. And if you only have one big screen, and I would highly recommend you at least have one big screen. Otherwise, it gets really, really tiny, and you'll have to flip through a lot of things too. So that's what I would do. Focus on making the setup work for you though. I want to see a lot of data on my lower time frame so I can tell where some of the key entry points are. And so I think you should too. Learn how to set up your orders. Um, how are you going to trade? What kind of stop losses are you going to use? What kind of, are there strategies that you're going to use? Like, I have some strategies here. If I try and go in now, it'll automatically set a stop and set a buy limit. So things like that. So I'm going to make this pretty tight so we don't lose a lot here. Screw it. I'll just let it run. If it stops out, it stops out. It's simulation. No big deal here, right? So this is what I would recommend. And as a newbie, you're going to spend some time on that. But once you get it set, it's set and forget, basically. So the next thing that I would recommend doing is lower your risk. So right now, I'm trading micro NASDAQ, okay? Let me see if I can set this to be dollar value. Currency, here we go. So you can see that with micro NASDAQ, I've lost about 3 points of movement already. And that only equates to about $8.50 of loss. So with the lower contracts means if a trade goes against you, it won't feel as bad. It's not going to hurt as bad. And that means you can actually stay in for the trade much longer. You can see how price moves, what you see in your setup, so you can kind of see it move. So what I mean by micro NQ is this MNQ up here. So 10 micro NASDAQ contracts, MNQ contracts, equals 1 regular NASDAQ contract. So 10 micro E-minis or MES. 10, I don't think I have it here, but ES here. That's E-mini S&P futures. And then YM is the Dow. Those are all indices, okay? So play around with it. You have a lot of different tools that you can trade. You're going to need to study those up and understand what you're trading. Trade sim first to see how it trades, and then go from there. So what should your goals be as a newbie, though? Your goals should be first defining your setup. When will you trade? When can you trade? What setup will you trade? Everything that I learned from a setup and what to look for, how I will enter. I learned pretty much everything that I use right this moment to trade from a trader called Inner Circle Trader, Michael Huddleston. I also studied a lot of the retail stuff too. So you'll see a lot of people talking about using moving averages in the MACD and oscillators. They do work. They can work, I want to say. There's definitely profitable traders that use those. The way I trade, I use Inner Circle Trader, so you're more than welcome to go see it. You're not going to have to pay for Discord. You're not going to have to pay for anything. You just need to put in the work. And that's what I really respected about it. And it's true. It's taken me about, I think at the end of this month, it'll be roughly 1 year. And just about a year mark is where I'm now starting to feel really, really confident about my trades. So it's going to take time, and be okay with that, right? So as a newbie, your goal is to gain consistency and confidence in your setup. You want to know that when you enter a trade, that it's going to go your direction. Like right now, where I entered out of the blue, that's gambling, right? I don't know it's going to go up or down. It's in the middle of this range here. Why would I take that trade on a normal time, right? So what are you going to do? What's your setup? How are you going to make it work? And how have you back tested it as well? Have you looked back at days, weeks, months worth of data to go and find the examples of your setup and seeing how it kind of forms? So have you done that yet? If you haven't, then that's something you're gonna have to do as a newbie. The next thing you want to do as a newcomer, when you start getting into the trades, you want to define your risk. So what does that mean? It means how much are you willing to lose in order to gain the same amount, or to gain twice that amount, or to gain more than that amount. So what you want to do is define that risk so that you can weather the storm later. So right now, um, if I was trading one NASDAQ contract, I'd already be down like $30 here, but instead I'm down $2.50, right? So the risk is much lower if you go with micro NASDAQ. Now, yes, the payoff is lower as well, but that's kind of like expected. So so from there, once you define your risk, once you define your setup and gain confidence in it, write it down, do the math, see what you're going to need to make each day, what you're going to need to make if you have 2 or 3 losses, or even 4 or 5 losses. As long as you have the right risk to reward ratio that you're aiming for, and that your setups are looking out for, you're going to still be able to at least break even, or more profitable. I think you can actually, if you go for 1 to 3R type trades, you could be 30% profitable and you'll still be profitable. Barely, but you'll still be profitable. So those are the few things that I would recommend for a new person. So the next thing that I would recommend would be, gosh, and I actually want to see if I can create like a slides presentation or something. X trader. I'm going to create a couple of slides on the fly here, okay? So, beginner. Let's hide this slide. I can't hide that slide, can I? That's okay. We're going to create something for beginners. We'll create something for intermediate and something for advanced. Okay, so to review, for a new person, what are some of the core things that you're going to want to pay attention to? So first is get a sim account, trade demo only. These are going to be a little bit too large. Let's make these a little smaller. Next, you're going to want to fix up your setups in Thin, NinjaTrader, or TradingView. Then you're going to want to define your setup. When will you trade? What will you trade? How are you going to trade? And then get consistency in trading your setup. Then you want to define your risk, how much you're willing to lose. Write all of it down. So those are the biggest takeaways for these I would say are the biggest takeaways for a new person. So let's now head over to the intermediate side of things, okay? So from an intermediate perspective, what are you going to want to do? You're going to need to do all the beginner stuff plus this, right? So the things I'll talk about here will also apply. All the stuff in the beginner stuff will apply to this one as well. So intermediate trader, you're somebody who has some skills, been trading for a few months, maybe practicing your model. Let's put it to the test now. I would say buy one of the lower priced accounts on sale specifically. You can buy it not on sale too, if you're going to pass it. Either way, it's just sales are much nicer this way. That's going to help preserve your bankroll as well. And that's really key, right? This sale helps you preserve your bankroll so that you can get to the performance account a little bit faster. So you're already familiar by this time with Apex and how it works. What you want to do in this stage is aim for 250 a day. So what you're going to do is you're going to take off most or all your profit and just stop there. You don't need every single day. You have 20 trading days in a given month, and you only need to trade 4 out of those 5 and get 250 4 out of those 5 days for 3 weeks before you hit that 3,000 mark. So this is where you're starting to get confident with your entries. You can use one contract of NASDAQ and you feel more confident with it, or 5 maybe, and you feel more confident with larger spreads or with larger point targets. So there's dozens and dozens of setups each day that give this amount of profit, but don't be greedy, right? So think about it. So for ES, that's about 5.25 points per day. And then for a NASDAQ, that's about 12.5 points per day, assuming one contract traded. Now, one contract traded is a lot for a performance account. I actually will talk about that when we get down into the advanced topics, but because this is an evaluation account, the going assumption here is that you have a small bankroll. You know, you've saved up from your 9 to 5 a little bit, so you can afford one recurring fee if you don't pass it every month. So, you know, the key here is you don't get into habit of taking profit. This is going to help you pass this far quicker than hoping or waiting for a really big run. Okay. So let me know if you understand that. So $250 a day, you can trade 4 days and then be done the rest of the week. Don't give up your gains, and you'll be done in 3 weeks. So you'll be done within a very small amount of trading days. You could go for 200 a day and trade every single day, absolutely, but I've found this to be a very fair split, and enough of a risk mitigator that you can not blow your accounts too quickly if you go on if you go on tilt. I think that's going to be really key, is managing your emotions is going to be key for both beginners and intermediate folks as well. I think that's really huge, very difficult, very easy to blow accounts because of your emotions. And so those are really some of the major things when you're in that in-between state where you think you can trade and you've maybe back tested a little bit. If you haven't really back tested and looked at how your model performs over time, when your model has failed, what were the situations when it failed? What kind of things could you do better? What other confluences were there when your model did succeed? If you haven't done that research, you're not really an intermediate. You're still learning. So that's kind of key in what you should be focusing on at this level. If you haven't gotten past the beginner level, focus on beginner level. Just focus on learning you and your setup. The money will come. I wish somebody would have told me to trade sim. If you keep buying evaluation accounts just to blow them, you're going to end up burning a lot more money than you needed to. And even then it's going to be cheaper than going and getting your own account, honestly. So that is that on the intermediate side, okay? Let's talk advanced. So let's assume that you have all the intermediate plus beginner stuff down. Let's assume so. So let's move this up a little bit. Let's move this up a little bit as well. And let's make this a little smaller. So you're going to have all this stuff mastered at this point in time. Here, when you're advanced, you know how to trade. You've practiced already. You know, you're ready to pass these quickly because you've been a seasoned trader. You want to try a new prop firm out just to see what it's all about, right? Um, so one key thing here as an advanced trader or somebody who has traded for a while and has had a 9 to 5 job like myself, one of the core things that you're going to want to do is you want to pass these quickly. How can you do that? Well, you need to have enough of a budget to weather, um, you know, a lot of accounts. So you want to make sure that you have enough to buy 5 accounts and not only buy the accounts themselves, the evaluations, but spend the money to also purchase the performance accounts too. Now remember, those are about 140 each, right? So if you want to buy the full time ones, let me see if I can pull up recently. Let's see. Congratulations, you've passed. And then I think you have to pay performance fee here. Let me see if this shows. Let me take this offline to make sure it doesn't show any material here. Well, yeah, so either way, you'll see something like this, where here's your activation fee for the 50K. You can either pay 85 each month in perpetuity, so you're always paying it, or you can pay a one-time fee for 140, and then it's a cent afterwards. So that's one thing that is kind of important. Yes, that what I showed you there was a performance account that just passed. So I was just giving you an example of what that looks like when you pass and what you're going to have to do. So have enough budget to handle many accounts. Assume that your budget to pass an account within that month is going to be about 100. Let's say you bought it on an 80% off and it was 30 some dollars. So it'd be 170, 180 bucks that you have to set aside for one account, right? So again, I can't stress enough, you have to have enough budget to handle many of these accounts. If you don't have that yet, work, save up. This is still going to be cheaper than trying to put like $600 into options and trying to make that work. Especially when that's all your money, So that's one thing that advanced people are willing to do, is have enough budget to handle many accounts, okay? If and only if you have the budget to purchase those accounts, go this route. Otherwise, stay consistent, take the time to pass it. In this route is naturally a little bit more volatile, and you're not going to be right all the time, and you might get stopped out because of the size that you're going with this strategy, okay? So this strategy is only for evals only, okay? And this is to maximize your size when you're entering, since you already know how to enter, where to enter, when trades are higher probability. So you want to enter with, let's say the 50K is, I don't know, 10 contracts maximum, right? So with this one, you're going to be starting your pyramid entries at, 6, 3, 1 or 6, 2, 2, so that you can make use of your entries, which you're seasoned at, and make use of the lion's share of that move, and making sure you have your appropriate stops so that you don't lose too much. You're going to need a little bit tighter stop because you're starting with a lot more contracts, and those contracts will add up very quickly towards a trailing stop loss, which you will, doing this, you will burn some accounts. That's just the nature of it, okay? I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's just the nature of it, which is why you need to have a bankroll for this. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you do need to have like at least a few $100s saved away for this. You're going to be able to make use of all the value of trading within Apex. You're going to be fine with that, but you need to be financially somewhat sound before you go this route, okay? So why is this only a strategy for evaluations? This reason why is because your stop loss on 50K, and we went through this in the intro to Apex. So we went through this example. I'm not going to hash it out, but basically the trailing stop loss trails up with your unrealized gains. So you're going to end up blowing the account if this thing runs up and then goes against you and you don't take profit. So This is not something that you want to do for performance accounts in the beginning, unless you're really willing to build, like, to blow those as well. I'm not willing to. So, here, what you want to do is focus on purchasing accounts only on sales. So like 80 to 90% off. Just, wait. If you have enough, if you're a seasoned trader, you're an advanced trader, you need to have patience. And so you need to wait for these holidays. You need to wait for the optimal entries, basically, here. And if you can get the 90% off sales, that cuts down, another $15 that you'd have to pay for an evaluation account. So I think that, they're sufficiently cheap to purchase 2 or 3 or 4 of these. And then you have to keep in mind that each of these you need to put aside 140 per 50K account. The higher level accounts cost a lot more, but I don't think you need them, honestly. You can stick with the 50K account, and that gives you plenty of contracts, more contracts that you need than you need to, honestly. So, just keep that aside. Make sure you keep the 140 lifetime PA fee. And so from a strategy perspective, okay, you are going to be looking at, and let's go pull up the hourly. We're going to get rid of this one. Can get rid of, where's the other one here? I think it's this one that we want to get rid of. And then we're going to maximize this one. So okay. So what's the strategy on the hourly? So the easiest one, in my opinion, actually isn't on an hourly, but you use the hourly to look at key points of inflection. So if I see that we have, gone down quite a bit, and I'm going to kind of try to do this from the point in time where I don't see anything. I see a market structure shift here. I see a fair value gap down here. I'm going to wait to see if it can get down there, and that's where my entry will be. Now, that is what I would need to wait for. That is the key, right? So the strategy here is, and this is, again, only for advanced people. Don't come in here and say, hey, I saw your strategy here. I tried it out and I blew my account. Yeah, you're going to blow your account if you do this, if you're not a seasoned trader. So start with 6 contracts. Layer in 2 and 2, or 6, 3, and 1. You can go either route with your pyramid, but keep in mind, all you need, if you have a full 10 contracts running, you only need 15 or so handles over run, and you can get that really quickly on NASDAQ. 15 handles on NASDAQ, rather. It's probably much less on E-minis, but so this is what I would use. Sometimes I don't even do that. Sometimes I do 4, 4, and 2. Just depends on what I see. I might not go to the full 10 contracts either. I might just stay, if I see it running really quickly, I might stick with 4 and it just runs the whole rest of the way. All I need it to do is get to about 1,000 or 2,000 and I'm good. Oftentimes now I can pass them in one go and just get the full 3,000 within one go. I do not recommend anybody doing that, but it is possible to do that. I have proven it. It is possible to do that. So once you pass these accounts, though, you're going to want to really pay attention to risk management. That's all it is. Once you pass the accounts, you got on the performance accounts, you kind of treat these performance accounts like a baby, where you very, very carefully nurture it over time. So this is where you're going to go down from trading 6 regular contracts down to scale down to micro NASDAQs. And so I'll go more in depth, but I'll give you a little bit of a tease. This is one of the tools that I created for risk calculation. You can kind of see like I have how many micro contracts that I have, um, and what would my risk be within certain thresholds. And then I also have like a certain amount of moves. What would my measured move? What would my measured profit be at those times? So I have a tool that I use to really understand what performance levels I need to be risking in order to risk about 1 or 2%. So this is the next key is once you get to the perform, and this is beyond the topic of this video. This video is just to how to pass the evaluation accounts, right? But once you're beyond that topic, or once you get past the evaluation accounts, then you can focus down to 1 or 2% risk of your total trailing drawdown, what it would be to completely draw down and blow your account. That is what you use in calculations. So I think that that is the best strategy when you can get to this point in your season. But what I used to do is the intermediate one. I used to trade one contract, went for 5 handles, $250 right there, and you're good to go. I mean, I traded E-mini as well. NASDAQ runs faster, okay? So it's going to get you there faster, but it's also going to run against you faster too. So I think with that, that is it. We've gone through basic strategy for beginners. We've gone through strategy for intermediate folks. We've gone through strategy for advanced folks. And I think really that's it. I hope this was valuable. I will, if YouTube doesn't automatically break this up into 3 different sections, I will make sure to put those in the description so that you can hop straight to the section that you want to. Or you can watch the whole thing too. I mean, this is really good information for anybody who's trying to do Apex trader funding, and I hope this is valuable to you. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything that I could explain a little bit better about how I have gotten to now 20 accounts maximum accounts passed. And let me know. I'm happy to answer it. I'm happy to help guide you as best I can, but every trader is going to be different, okay? So just do not over leverage before you have the bankroll to do so. That will cost you a lot, and make sure you trade sim. So with that, if this was helpful, I don't even know if you're still here watching, but definitely subscribe if you haven't already. For those who have subscribed, thank you so much. You're amazing, and I really appreciate you. And with that, I think we'll release this maybe tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, once it finished uploading on YouTube. So with that, have a great evening, and good luck with your trading on Apex. Let me know how you do. Come here at me or find me on social media. All my socials are listed on my YouTube channel. So they're here. You're going to see me on home, and you can go to about. I use Twitter. I don't use Instagram very much, mostly Twitter. So if you want to just at me there, follow me there too. And I'll be around. Yeah. So if you want to go to Apex again, you can go to this about tab here. You can go down and just click on that if Apex Trader Funding. So yep, with that, I think that, and I wasn't sharing my screen the whole time. So so if you want to find me, just go to the YouTube channel and then go to the About channel, and you can go click on Apex Trader Funding there. So let me know if there's anything else I can do to help. Hopefully this helped illuminate what you can do as a beginner, advanced, and intermediate and advanced person to pass these accounts. That's the strategy I use. It's simple as that. Where I excel though is I've put in like thousands of hours of back testing. So, and I've traded a lot with simulation as well. So, good luck, take care, and I'll see you on the other side.